Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of From the Heart. I'm your host, Trca, and this is a podcast where we talk all things lifestyle, wellness, nutrition, mindset, everything from my heart week to week. I pretty much reflect on every single week and I dump it out into a podcast to you guys, the lessons that I'm learning, the tips that I've learned. And this one is kind of like a seasonal special episode. With the holidays rolling around, with Thanksgiving being a week from today, which is absolutely crazy. And Christmas coming up if you celebrate or just whatever. I feel like the holidays are here. The holidays are approaching and life can get a little stressful. Life can get a little overwhelming. And I just want to talk to you guys about some tips that I would give you to maintain like a healthy lifestyle and mindset through the holiday season, because I know a lot of people can stir up mixed emotions. It can stir up a lot of uncertainty because there's traveling, there's a lot of big meals, there's a lot of time off, and it's just, you're really out of your routine. And I've struggled in the past. Fortunately, I am much more healed now and I'm in a much better place. But I've definitely struggled in the past with anxiety around Thanksgiving and Christmas because there's so much food involved. You have your friends' givings. You have just like little holiday parties. There's just more treats, more baking, and more time off, like I said. So you're just not my door just randomly shutting. I think it's because the air came on, but that scared me a little bit. But it can just be a little unsettling just because there's a lot of uncertainties and a lot of non-routine days in the next couple months. And one, that is so okay. I am a huge fan of the holidays. I always have been. I absolutely love Christmas. The reason we are in a different, if you're watching this, we're in a different setup, a different angle, is because my Christmas tree is now where I typically put my whole podcast setup, my camera, and the angle. So we switched angles. I don't love this one as much, but we're just gonna have to rock and roll with it for the next few months until I decide to take the tree down. But it's beautiful, and I had so much fun putting it up last night. And truly, it's just those moments where I look back and I'm so grateful. Like last night, Kyler, my boyfriend, and I had a little date night, and it was just so, I loved it because it was so Christmassy. I was like, you know what? I want his help buying a Christmas tree. One, that thing's big, heavy. I need help putting it together. But two, it's like such a special, kind of magical time, you know? Like I burnt like a Christmas candle. We were going to listen to Christmas music, but my speaker wouldn't work. But we just put it together and did it together and strung the lights. It was kind of stressful because if you guys know the viral like Home Depot twinkle Christmas tree, I wanted it so bad. And I didn't realize it was a viral thing. I didn't realize, but it turns out that's the one I wanted when I went to Home Depot. I've always bought my trees at Home Depot. My old Christmas tree is still back in Iowa, so I had to get a new one this year. Actually glad I got a new one because I got like a real green one. Well, it's not real, but like a green. My other one's flocked, and I just feel like the green just makes it more Christmassy. But I had so much fun, like, coming up with the concept. Like me and my girlfriends went ornament shopping to help me come up with like the theme I wanted to go with because I was stressed. I think I mentioned that a week or so ago, but I'm going with like a gold and green theme, kind of like this pillow. Like I just love earthy tones, but then I'm still throwing in pops of red. So I'm doing like red little velvet bows on my tree with gold ornaments, and it's gorgeous. She's not finished yet. I have to do the bows tomorrow with Emma because I knew that wasn't a task for Kyler and I, but he helped me like string the lights in the tree. It was so much fun, but the whole night was just such a good night, other than the fact that the tree that I originally wanted was like unavailable, sold out every single place. So him and I hopped around like 3 or 4 different places. We went to Lowe's to get a tree. They didn't have the one I wanted, so we got like the lights there because they sold them separately, like the twinkly lights that I wanted. And I was like, you know what, I'll just buy a bear tree. Lowe's didn't have the bear tree, so then we went to At Home, and I found an At Home bear tree. So it was a whole process, but looking back, I'm like, you know, it's kind of fun when you get to like venture around. Things didn't go as planned. I was getting a little stressed because I was a little hangry, and I'm like, I just want a Christmas tree like tonight. Like I wanted to like have a night because I'm going home for Christmas in a couple of days. I won't see him for a week, and then I'm having to travel the following weekend for a work thing, and I'm like, I just have a lot coming up, and I just want to have this weekend to be able to like, or this day to set it up. Anyway, after that though too, I was like, I really want to go to Pressed Juicery. If you guys know what that is, it's like a healthier, they have like soft serve ice cream, and then they also have juices, obviously. And I haven't been to the one that is close to me now that I moved, and they have this new, I walk by all the time on my walks, and they have this new like peppermint sundae, and it looks so good. And I'm like, okay, Kyler, we're gonna go together. He's never been to Pressed. I'm like, it's so good. We're gonna try this new sundae together after we go Christmas shopping. I had this whole little plot in my head, and I thought it was gonna be so fun and so magical, and it totally was. But the freaking Pressed didn't have the chocolate ice cream. It was like the machine was broken, and I was just at that point where I'm like, I was tired and stressed because I'm like, I don't know if this tree is gonna come together. I don't know if it's gonna fit. And this was a lesson, you guys, because I was getting overworked and overwhelmed. This is why Kyler's just the best and we are such a good pair, because he's so calm, cool, and collected. And I'm a girl. Should I have gotten upset that they were out of the chocolate ice cream and my tree was like not available? No. Those are the most materialistic, minor problems. Like, I still have a beautiful tree and I love it and it came together so great, and I'm actually grateful because this one's way bigger and it was the same price with the combination of the lights and the tree. It was the same price as the one I wanted at Home Depot. So I'm like, you know what? This one's actually better. And if the lights burn out, I don't have to get rid of the tree. I just get new lights. But, and then press, they didn't have the chocolate ice cream and I was like upset because I'm like, dang it, like I just don't really like their vanilla, but I got it. It was all right. It really wasn't that good. But Kyler's just so cool and calm and collected. And that is kind of my first point, is to have people in your life who like ground you and bring you to, and like their presence is like what's important. And it was like, I had this whole concept of, I want to have this magical little night and I want it to be perfect. And I'm like a big person. I love like spontaneous plans. And I think I love spontaneous plans because I can't preconceive like the perfect night. Like I can't envision it. And then it's like, I don't ever get let down. Cause like who likes to like not, you know, have their plans go as you imagine? Nothing ever goes as you expect. But the thing is like the Lord has a better plan and it always goes better than you can expect. Do I really understand why the chocolate ice cream machine was broken? No, I don't. But it was definitely a lesson in me being like, okay, Chloe, get yourself together. You still got the ice cream. It was still fun. It was still decent. And you can go again. Kyler's like, and this is why he's just the greatest. He was like, Chloe, think about this. We get to go 2 times. Like, you get to get the ice cream twice now, like once the machine's working. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I was like, okay, Chloe, like, you can be better, do better. But again, like I said, my first tip is to have those people in your life when you need them, through the holidays, through the stress. Again, your stress probably won't be decorating a tree and getting ice cream. That's a very minor example. That was just literally last night. So it's like top of mind for me. But there's going to be moments if you have to travel in the airport where your flight gets canceled, your flight gets delayed. You can't find a flight because they're so expensive, or you're making cookies for Christmas Eve night and they burn. Like, things are going to happen, or you're trying to get a gift for someone and it's sold out, or it doesn't get shipped on time. Like, these things can seem like so frustrating in the moment and like panic. But when you have those people in your life who can like ground you and center you and remind you of like, it's going to be okay. It's really not that big of a deal. We're going to have like a fun time. Like, him and I were talking and it was like honestly one of my favorite date nights we've had. Cause then the one thing that like wasn't planned, we went to dinner at this one spot, but we sat and just chatted for like, it was like a Mongolian thing where it's like all you can eat and then you fill your bowl and they cook it there. It's like a hoo-ha, if you guys know what a hoo-ha is. That's the only comparison I know from the Midwest. But it's like you customize it and it's a big bowl of a lot of food and it was so good. But we went together and it was so not planned. Like, we were just super hungry and we both had to pee super bad. So we went to this box, it was close. And we sat there for like, I don't know what, 45 minutes. And it was like my favorite time that I've had with him in so long. Because it was like so undistracted. I feel like him and we spend a lot of time together. Obviously we eat a lot of meals together, but when we're like at my place or at his place, we cook a lot. Like, we don't really go out to eat. And if we do go out to eat and grab food, we usually grab it and come back to the house. But I texted him and I was like, we should like do little nights like that. I'm like, they don't need to be extravagant dinners. I'm like, this was like a pretty casual dining place. Like, but just doing that more often. I'm like, it was so nice to have like undistracted time with him and to just sit down and like, we actually like talked like deep conversations at like this little Mongolian place, but like I felt so close to him and it was so important. So that's my other tip. Well, my second tip is to like not neglect the time spent with the people that you already see, because I think it's a lot of like travel, a lot of Friendsgivings, a lot of like going to see your family members, but it's like the people that are still close to you. So if you have a significant other, a best friend, whoever it is, like your person in your life, it's like still devote time to them and building that relationship. Because I think the holidays, especially, and I mean, I'm not a parent yet, but I think as a parent, it probably can get really stressful with Christmas coming up, because one, financially, Christmas is like a very stressful time. I know that. It's so expensive. There's so much going on with gifts and parties and decorations and who knows what, different little like holiday. If you have kids, they probably have like little festivals and concerts you have to buy outfits for. Like, it's a lot. And then there's dinners when you do that, and it just can get really stressful and overwhelming. And I just feel like we're all packed full. Like, there's so many things you want to do in the holidays. You try to like scrunch it all in like a month or 2 months, and it can be really overwhelming. So it's like, still make sure you're pouring into the relationships in your life, and watering those and like allowing those to grow amongst and amidst like the chaos, because I feel like it can be a little chaotic. And I don't know, last night was just such a good reminder of that. And I was like, okay, going into this holiday season, like I'm keeping that so top of mind because it is going to be chaotic. I'm going home for a week and I'm not going to see Kyler. And then I come back and then it's going to be kind of normal for a couple days. I'm traveling again. And the next thing you know, my whole family's coming here. And I'm so excited for that. But it's like, I still need to devote time for like just Kyler and I to like build our relationship, because that's like one of my main priorities. Just at this point in my life, like I always want to like devote quality time to him. It's like what makes me feel my best, and him and our relationship our best. And again, that's just my priority. Again, your relationship might not be a priority. Maybe you're single. Maybe that time is for yourself. Make sure you still take time for yourself. And a lot like self-care time, or like a long walk time, or your workouts, like whatever you need in the moment, make sure you're still prioritizing that amongst all of the chaos. But I'm so excited. Again, like that makes it seem like the holidays are so chaotic, and I hope and pray that you guys love the holidays as much as I do. The holidays are just so magical and so like, I love it. Just like enjoy it. And that's tip number 3, is to enjoy all of the fun, little like silly, goofy, cliche holiday things, and truly enjoy them and be present in the moment. So like examples is I feel like we're often like, oh, we'll do it another time. Or like, we're kind of busy. Like, let's just like watch a Christmas movie tomorrow night. Or like, let's go look at the Christmas lights a different night. But like, just make a conscious effort to like schedule that kind of stuff in, because I think that's what makes the holidays so much fun and so joyful. And it takes a lot of like the stress and the anxiety away from it, is when you really are present and like enjoying those moments. Like Emma and I watched a Christmas movie the other night and it was so fun. And I'm like, I made that little date night for Kyler and I last night of getting the tree. Like I could have got the tree with my girlfriends and done it, but I knew that would be something so much fun for him and I to do, just because I think like growing a relationship, it's kind of like a little sneak peek into the future of like when we do get married and we do buy a house and we get to decorate our house together. It's like, well, we can't do that now, obviously, but getting that little glimpse is like special to me. So try to do that if you can, or if it's like your best friend or your mom or your grandma, like find that special person to like enjoy those moments with, because I think it makes the holidays so rich. But again, like do all of the fun little cliche things, like build the gingerbread houses, like have a night to do that. Like Emma and I have like a ton of things planned for my family's coming to town, because if you didn't know, I'm from Iowa. It's super cold there. It feels cold. Like, I don't know, the cold and Christmas just kind of go hand in hand, and like the holidays in general. But they're coming to Arizona, where it's kind of cold low key, but like it's not going to be a white Christmas. It's not going to be freezing like it is at home. So it's like you have to make more of a conscious effort to make it feel like the holidays. And I think Arizona does such a good job. Like the decor here is stunning. It's beautiful. Like I absolutely love it. I feel like people go over the top to like compensate. But like we have all these different things planned. Like there's so many things to do here, like Christmas light shows. We're gonna do gingerbread houses one night. We're gonna bake cookies. We're gonna watch the movie Elf. Like, but my mom's coming to town early and she's gonna help like kind of decorate the boys' house, because that's where most of the people will be staying. And that's just something that she cares about, and it makes Christmas magical. Like I truly, as an adult, I think you realize your parents are really who like made the holidays and Christmas so magical and special. And I'm so grateful that my mom did. Like she goes over the top for Christmas, but it's like I love it because it's like so much love and warmth and happiness and joy when I think back on the holidays. And I'm so blessed to have that experience, because I know not everyone does. But it's like if you didn't as a child, like recreate that path and redesign it for like a better future for you now, like with your friends or your significant others. Like the holidays don't have to be this like anxious time. And I know that's hard, and maybe I'm wrong because I haven't experienced that, but it's like I want it so bad for you guys to like enjoy it, and for it to be a fun, like stress-free time to just enjoy and soak up all of the fun, unique little things you can do during this time and spend time with people. I think that's truly the beauty of it. I mean, the true meaning of Christmas is, from my Christian perspective, that Jesus was born, and I think it's really important to remember that. But again, I know everyone's Christian, so just the holidays in general, I think is such a good time to like have community and family to come together. And so just take advantage of like all those little opportunities, because I think it's what makes it fun, you know? But okay, those ones were more like mindset tips, but now I kind of want to get more into, I have them written down, but like I want to get more into like the actual health and wellness, like physical side, because I know that's what can cause a lot of people anxiety, is just, I don't want to like gain weight, or I don't want to like lose my strength, or I don't want to lose my endurance, like everything you've been working for, because you're going to be traveling and things are different. But let me remind you, you guys, Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day is like one day. Like one day will not wreck your progress. What will wreck your progress is if you start compensating, overcompensating before, overcompensating after to make up, and I'm putting this in air quotes, to make up for like one day. But that is doing so much more harm than just enjoying a Thanksgiving meal, because it's messing with your mind. It's affecting your perception of food and your body and like rules and limits and whatever. Like, it's not that serious. Like, one day, if you're like a bodybuilder and you're on prep, it is that serious, because you have to be like on a very strict regimen plan. But if you're not, anyone else, I feel like, unless I guess you have like a underlying health condition of some sort, it's not that big of a deal. Like one meal, one day. And I get, it's probably like a few meals. Like people, like if you're dating someone, you go to their Christmas and then, or Thanksgiving, and then you go to yours, or if you have split parents, like I know there's probably like 3 or 4 different Thanksgivings you go to, or 3 or 4 different Christmases, but like even that isn't that big of a deal if you just get right back into routine. And I want you guys to understand, like, just control what you can control and enjoy what you can enjoy. Like, don't ruin it for yourself because of a perception of this is going to wreck my progress, because it's not if you don't allow it to. Like, if you stick to your plan and the way of eating every other day of the week, and if you still hit your workouts every other day of the week, you're gonna be okay. So just remove that like stress from it and enjoy the yummy food. Like, it's such a blessing that we are able to eat these foods. And I know I'm always like, it's a privilege to eat high quality whole foods, and I still believe that. And I'm going to enjoy those every other day. But on Thanksgiving, will I indulge in the Thanksgiving food? That's probably some pie, or, you know, who knows what. There's a bunch of stuff. Is it high quality whole foods? No. But those moments are a privilege as well, and I want to like enjoy those. So I don't know if like that's contradicting, but that's just me being honest. Like, I'm still a woman of my word. Like, I'm still going to prioritize eating high quality whole foods, but I'm not going to go into Thanksgiving and be like, it's not organic, pasture raised, no seed oils, I'm not eating it. Like, I'm going to enjoy my Thanksgiving meal. I'm gonna, because it's like, that's one day, or maybe like 3 or 4 days in the whole month that I'm enjoying those foods. And then I'm eating great and doing what I normally do every other day of the week. And I'm not undercompensating. I'm not overcompensating. Outside of that, I'm just allowing myself the freedom on those days to enjoy it. And with that, my next tip is self-control. That's self-control is a huge thing, and it's been a huge thing I'm learning this year as I'm growing in my faith, because it's a huge thing as a Christian to have self-control in all areas of your life, because self-control is I think one of the hardest things. But it's like, if you can portion control and you can control yourself, it's like a mind over matter game. And I think when you go into it viewing food as something negative, or viewing anything as like anything in like a negative lens, it makes it so much harder. So if you go in like confident and being like, I know I can control my portions, I'll like get what I want, I'll eat until I'm like full, that's great. And no, you can go back for seconds later. Like, I'm the girl who I eat like a full plate on Thanksgiving, and then we kind of just like we graze throughout the day, but then we like kind of eat leftovers for night. And then it's like, I just go back and I get what I loved earlier and I just have it for dinner, but it's like, I don't go massive crazy. I mean, do I eat more than I normally do? Yeah, that's just, I do, but that's okay. But I'm not like eating so much and like overindulging, to an extreme. But it's like, I just understand I can have more if I want it. And I like have that mindset and that confidence in myself that I can control myself with the portions, and I can control myself around food that maybe I don't normally eat, because that's a huge thing with restriction that I've noticed in my past is like, if I restricted myself too much, then I overindulged in it, because I had this concept and this mindset of being like, if I don't eat it now, like I can never eat this, so I better enjoy all of it while I can. It's like a binge thing. Go into it with confidence in yourself that you can control it and allow yourself to enjoy it. But again, control is really important, and it's really important too with like controlling your movement and your exercise and your mental health. Like, control that and have confidence that you know what you're doing and you have control over it. Like, you have control to like go on a long walk after you eat. Digestion walks are great. Go do it after Thanksgiving meal. It'll probably make you feel better, because I know we do typically overeat after a Thanksgiving meal. Go on a little walk. It doesn't have to be a long walk to overcompensate, but like just go on a little walk, get a little movement in. Maybe if you typically lift and you have time, get a lift in the morning before your meal. Like, do the things that you can do to like know you'll feel your best. And But if you don't have time, that's okay. Like, enjoy the time with your family as well. Like, there's no one set of rules that you have to follow, but it's like, just do your best and know what works for you and what doesn't. And like controlling your mind. I feel like a lot of it's just a mind game, and like sitting back and talking with yourself and being like, okay, like, why am I like nervous about this? Like, where's that coming from? Or like, why do I feel like I can't control this? Or, just like, tell yourself you can, believe that you can, and do it, and prove it to yourself that you can do it. Because, yeah, I don't know. I just think like eating mindfully and doing everything mindfully with control it's a healthy habit to learn in like all aspects of life, and it can definitely be harder during the holidays for sure. But I don't want you guys to get like stressed about it or anxious about it. Like, it's, again, like I said, it's one or a couple days out of the whole year that it's like really centered around food. So just whatever aligns with you, truly you, and what is going to make you happiest, do that. But anyway, my next tip is to stay hydrated over the holidays. This might sound funny and silly, but it's like, I think we forget to like drink water. I mean, there's a lot of like cocktails and wine and stuff like that. I don't drink. And if I ever did have like a glass of wine, it would probably be on like a Thanksgiving meal or something, which I'm not going to. That's not really my plan, but I'm pretty much sober. Like, I can't tell you last time I had a sip of alcohol, but it's like, remember to drink water, because I think we forget that. And that's just like a critical health tip in general. Like, you should always be drinking water, but I just think for me personally, I'm really bad at drinking water. And when I'm out of routine and when I'm like eating big meals, I think I just get full and I forget to drink water. So hydrate. Another thing during the holidays, you guys, that's so important, is just get your sleep, because like I said, it's kind of a chaotic time. You have a lot going on. You probably have more than normal, like throughout your day. Like, if you have to like wrap gifts or decorate or plan things, or you're running back and forth between different whatever it may be, like, make sure you're prioritizing sleep, because that is like the secret sauce. That's what keeps us functioning as human beings. And that's where we recover and we reset and we like regenerate. So make sure you're prioritizing your sleep. Don't lack the sleep in the holidays, because you'll definitely pay for it. And then practice gratitude. So just like truly be grateful. Sorry, I need to move my legs. I always say crisscross applesauce when I podcast and then my legs go numb. But the thing is, like, truly be grateful for like the moments that we get to experience and the time with our family and the food on our plate. And like, the more gratitude that you have, I just think the better life is. And every time I'm in like a negative state of mind, like, I talked about this on Instagram and I talked about this on my other podcast, Heavenly Chats, but I'm going to talk about it on here too. So if you've already heard this, you can skip through it. But the other day I was like in the thick of my luteal phase and I was having a really hard day. I was just having like I was just kind of like in a sadder state, and I was struggling with like body image, and it was just one of those days where I wasn't feeling the best in my skin. And I knew it was because of my luteal phase, which that's the importance to me of tracking, because I'm like, okay, it's a hormonal thing, Chloe. This will pass. This shall pass. Like, it's going to be okay. But it was after church. It was on a Sunday, and I don't typically work out on Sundays, but I was like, you know what? Like, I have free time. Kyler's busy with a friend. Like, I don't have much to do right now. Like, I might as well go work out. I'm like, that's going to make me feel my best, and I know it'll help. And it wasn't out of a way to like compensate for feeling bad about myself, but to me, exercise is like medicine. It's a mood booster. It gives me a dopamine, serotonin boost. I just love it. I'm a gym girl, you guys know, and the gym is my happy place. And I really realized how true that was this last Sunday, because when I went there, I was like, you know what, we're just going to throw on some baggy sweatpants, just go and do your best. Like, I went in with no plan, because I wasn't even planning on lifting. Like, I had no workout scripted out or like written out or anything. So I just went and I was like, you know what, we'll start with like my normal warm up. And I was like, I'll just do what I feel like doing in the moment. I ended up having like the best workout I've had in so long, such a good lift. I felt so strong, which is actually ironic, because usually I feel really weak in my luteal phase, but I felt strong this day. And I could just feel my mood boosting. But the thing is, prior to walking into the gym, when I was driving to the gym, I was kind of, like down in the dumps, feeling sorry for myself. But I was proud of myself, one, for stepping out of my apartment, going to the gym and doing something good for me. And two, I was like, you know what? I know I heard this somewhere and it's always stuck with me, but it's like, you can't be in like a positive state of mind and a negative state of mind at the same time. So every time I'm in a negative state of mind, I like force myself into being very grateful and bringing a lot of gratitude and like thinking of all the positive things to like fill that up and kind of remove the negative, because I'm like, if I can focus on the positive, the negative kind of drifts away. So I was like, started to pray, because that's just like my go-to. I'm like, I need to start going to the Lord more in these moments rather than myself, because when I lean on myself in these moments, I feel like I just spiral myself down and it just gets worse. So I was like, you know what? I was like praying to God, and I was like, God, please just like place more gratitude in my life. I'm like, allow me and help me to be more grateful right now for the things that I do have and the things that are going well right now. I was like, make me feel more like positive about myself, like feed me, fill me up. Like I need that. And sometimes I don't even know what words to say to the Lord, but like I know he knows what I'm thinking. He just wants us to like go to him. So that's kind of what I was doing. My prayer probably made like no sense, but I just had that like while driving to the gym and while walking into the gym. And then again, like I said, I had the best workout. And after the gym, I had to go to the store, and I was like texting Kyler back and forth, so I was getting stuff to grill out. And I was at Whole Foods, and I was at like the meat counter thing, and I ran into this guy, and I was like in a better mood, definitely, but like still like, I was probably like in an average mood. I wasn't like, woo, way up here, and I wasn't like down in the dumps like I was prior. But I was at the meat counter, and this guy came up to me, like offered me to like take his spot in line, and he was super kind. I was like, no, it's okay. Still don't really know what I'm getting. Anyway, got my stuff, and then I was like all the way in the other corner of the store by the sparkling water, and the same guy had come up to me, and he was like, I just have to let you know you're like absolutely beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that is so like kind. Like I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And he said it in like the most positive, respectful, kind way. Like it wasn't like he was hitting on me. I didn't feel like uncomfortable. He didn't even ask for my number. Like he genuinely was like just giving me a compliment. And I was like, wow. And I kind of was like walking through the store to like go find my next item. And I was like, I really needed that little boost. Like not that I'm seeking out external validation, but I just knew that was like a little God moment, because honestly, God talks to me the most through people. Like, I don't know if I just like haven't tapped in enough to like myself to hear him speak to me. Sometimes I do, but I feel like he talks to me the most through people in my life. That's like a huge part of my testimony, is the people he's placed in my life. And so I was like, that was like a little like hug from God. I was like, I needed that. And then I finished up at the store. I'm in like the checkout line, and this guy was like over the top, super polite to me, like chatting me up like in a respectful way. Like it wasn't like he was hitting on me, but he was just like being very positive. And I think even just those interactions are really helpful when you're like kind of in a mood. I like love talking to friends, especially positive people, when I'm not so positive, because it can help and it brings my mood up, and I like kind of level with their mood. So that was really nice. And then anyway, get to the self-checkout. I'm like checking on my items, and one of them was like a discounted thing. So I needed the worker, the employee who's like on standby for those kind of things. I needed her help. So she comes over and she's like putting in the code and everything. We get chatting a little bit. She's super helpful. And so when I was walking out, I like went to look at her and like thank her just again to be kind. And she looks at me and she was like, "You're just absolutely gorgeous." And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, thank you so much. And she was like, yeah. She's like, have you ever modeled? And I was like, huh? I was like taken aback. I'm like, no, like I haven't. She's like, wow. She's like, I'm really shocked. Like, you're just absolutely stunning. She's like, you could model. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. And I'm like walking out of Whole Foods, like crying. And I'm like, the Lord is so loud. And he was just so helpful to me in that moment. But I was like, because I was practicing a state of gratitude and like reaching out and leaning on that, like, again, if you're a believer, if you're not a believer, like he gave that to me, and he reminded me of everything I needed to know, and like how he will help you through those like times and moments. And it's like nothing's ever too small or too silly to pray about and like lean on, because I was struggling. That might not have been like a huge deal, but like it still was impacting my mood, and I didn't want it to be. And it was like I had the power and the authority to like change my mood, and I leaned on him, because sometimes I don't think I can trust my like self, and I can always trust the Lord. And so it's like going to him, like it's almost like a guaranteed way to get through something, whether or not he fixes it that quickly. I mean, that was like within an hour, which was nuts, but like over time, I trust in his plan and have faith in him. So if you're struggling with anything like that, anything over the holidays, any like chaos or feelings or emotions, like lean on the Lord, go to him, pray to him, and like ask him for help and guidance through that, and the strength or the courage, or if you like need peace or anything with like a relative or family member. Like I know a lot of stuff can be going on during the holidays. Pray about it, lean on him, like talk to him about it, and like he will guide you through it. So yeah, those are all my tips. Some with the mental side of like enjoying the moment and making sure you're focusing on the people in your life, to not overcompensating, doing what you can, controlling what you can control. Make sure like you can like portion control, but still enjoy the food, enjoy the quality time with people, and still like honor your body, move your body, sleep, rest, hydrate, like do all of those things because they're so important. Because like I said, this time can get so crazy and so chaotic. And most importantly, just be grateful and be thankful, because when you're in that state of mind, it makes everything even better. And just enjoy the little moments, like create the like Christmas magic or the holiday magic in your own life, because it's so fun. And I just think life's too short to like not. And so yeah, decorate your little tree, or go look at Christmas lights, or make a little gingerbread house, or bake some cookies, or I don't know, go get pressed new seasonal ice cream. But just do something that makes you happy and can like lift up the people in your life as well. But yeah, I hope this episode helped. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and we will chat next week. Bye guys.